Good morning, everyone. This is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. Um, I have a project share and more like a comparison, really, not a project share because I did share some of these already. So I had been waiting on the Heartfelt Creations, the new die that for the poinsettia. It's called the Festive Poinsettia, which is this one right here. And it did come in Saturday, and I was able to play with it. But as you guys recall, I did share some poinsettias that I made with the Spellbinders Susan Tierney, um, this one, die set. And I have to tell you guys that I'm a big fan of Heartfelt Creations. I really am. But when I compare these two flowers, to me, the Susan Tierney one, the Spellbinders one, is more realistic. Um, the Heartfelt Creations is a little bit more whimsical. So, I mean, it still makes a pretty flower. Um, One of the things that I was disappointed in is the shaping tray, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I put in this flower, and this has already been put in the shaping mold tray, and it's pretty flat. You can see a little bit on the back, and that's because I shaped it some already by hand. So the shaping is not very prominent, and I like a more prominent defining the veins and everything on the flowers. So that's one of the things that I wasn't too crazy about. Although I'm not one to send things back, I'll go ahead and keep it. But I was disappointed in the shaping mold, because normally I'm very satisfied with Heartfelt Creation products. So if you haven't bought it yet, think about the shaping tray before you get it, because you're going to have to add more shape to it if you really want them to look pretty. So, and two, this is the old poinsettia. It's the sparkling poinsettia, and it doesn't fit exactly in the tray, but almost. So if you're just wanting the shaping mold, because you already have the old poinsettia, I was able to shape this in that. So that's one of the things. Another thing that I didn't care for were the centers of the poinsettia. If you notice, these are very whimsical, and they're very big, not like berries would look. And I imagine they look fine if you use them. I even added the nouveau drops. I got in my green ones and I added them, but I wasn't crazy about them, I have to tell you. So I ended up using the centers from this die, and I love the way they came out. So I did make some more of the Spellbinders ones, and using the Distress Oxide inks and wetting the paper. And I did two ways. I used a heavyweight paper, and then I used the watercolor paper. My personal preference is I like the heavyweight paper better than the watercolor paper. Even though the watercolor paper handles the moisture better, I like the look of the heavyweight paper more. So I'll show you a comparison. This one doesn't have the center because I stole the centers from this one to add it to the Heartfelt Creations. This is the watercolor paper, and what I use for this one is the Distress Oxide Stormy Sky. And all I did was stamp it out in a very light blue. If you don't want the veining in your flower to kind of dissolve or bleed, I would say use a what do you call those inks? Don't use just a regular ink pad. Use an archival ink, and that way they won't disappear. But I used just the Stampin' Up, and I knew they were gonna kind of bleed a little bit and fade out, but that's what I wanted it to do. I wanted it to look like a watercolor type of thing. So after I had stamped it in the light blue, I went ahead and cut it out and added the stormy sky, just with a little sponge in each petal. And then I wet it down and kind of move my flower around so the water would run. That means that these are water activated. So when you spray them with water, the ink kind of starts to spread and do its own thing. So you got to move your flower around, to get that paint moving or the ink moving. So that's what I did with these, and I love the fact that they faded out the original lines that I had put in there with when I stamped it. But here is the one with a heavyweight paper, and I want you to look at the comparison. Like, there's more to this one. The lines, if you can see, the lines are defined better on the heavyweight paper. I guess because it's a thicker paper, I think that it's crinkled up better than the water color paper. So I was just trying it. I won't make any more of those. I think I'm going to stick to the heavyweight paper, but you can see all the lines defined on this flower. I mean, you can see the veining right there. And this is the Spellbinders one. And then I did add some greens to it, and I recall that I had some of these berry sprays, so I added them in there. And they look so realistic. Here's another pink one that I did, and here's the comparison to this one. Is the worn lipstick, but I did add water and moved it around to get that watercolor look. And this one I'm more colored than anything. So I kind of like this look. I like both of these, but I like the fading out and the watercolor look. So I think I'm going to make more of these, but not in the watercolor paper like I did here. I'm going to use the regular heavyweight cardstock. And I did add some it's not really stickles that I use. I use this basil glue that was gifted to me by my friend Carolyn, who is Tea Time and Dolls here on YouTube. She gifted me this, and that's what I use to make them sparkle like that. So if you're using a distressed oxide, play around with spraying them with water. And I did heat set them afterwards to dry them up quickly so my paper wouldn't tear. Now, the difference between the Heartfelt Creations and the Susan Tierney is that the petals are different sizes. And that's what makes the difference between a poinsettia that looks more realistic and one that looks more whimsical. So see the petals, they're not all the same. And I forgot to mention that these have numbers on them. So this one says 2 times. So 2x, which means you cut this one twice. So you need 2 of those. And this one says 1 times, which means you cut it 1 time. So I forgot to mention that these do have numbers, so you only really need 3. 2 of the larger one and 1 of the smaller one. Then you would want to cut another of the larger one for the green leaf. So you need a total of 3 of the larger one. The Heartfelt Creation one, I have the stamp right here. It's bigger, but if you notice, all the petals are exactly the same size. So that's why you get a more whimsical poinsettia versus the Spellbinders, because that is more real. The die is more realistic. So that's the difference between the two. And here is the Heartfelt Creations. It's still beautiful, but if you notice, all the petals are the same. I did have to shape it quite a bit to get it to look like this, because when it comes out of the tray, it looks flat like this. Like literally this is flat. This is how it comes out of the tray. So I did have to shape it quite a bit. And if you notice, the centers are the ones from the Spellbinders one, and they look really, really pretty. And because it's a very light color, I used the green ones. But imagine if I had put these stamens in there. Like, let me see if I can. Like, it would be cute, but it would be more whimsical. And I wanted a more realistic one. So this one has the berries from the other one. And I did, like I said, get in my green Nouveau drops. And I ordered another green Nouveau drop. So I ordered 2 different colors. in the Nuvo drops. I'm still waiting on the other one. And then here are my berries. And I had some, I'll share that with you. I had some, I have these berries that have blue in them. I love the color blue, guys. If you know me at all, you know that I love the color blue. And more like a dusty blue is my favorite color. So this had the blue berries on there. So I just cut off a little piece, wrapped the wires together and just kind of tucked them in and glued them in. And I did add the glitter glue to the tips of the flower. Added my greenery right here, colored it in. I actually just sponged it in with just a little dauber. Just a little dauber, because the pine needles were so little, that I was having trouble with the marker. So I just went in with a dauber and some paint. But I love the way they look. But here's the comparison. Here is the Heartfelt Creations one. And then here is the Spellbinders one. So it just depends on your preference. Like I said, I personally like mine to look more realistic. This one has the lighter berries in there. This one has the darker berries. But I love the way they both came out. But my choice would be this one. Although I would love this one as well, because I think this one's very pretty too. But except the other one's more realistic. This one's a little bit bigger as well. So see, well, am I in screen? I want to put them back to back. No. This one's bigger than this one, not by much, but it is bigger. It does look fuller because all the petals are the same size, but this one looks more realistic. Thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone is having a great day, and I hope this helps you as far as if you're deciding on buying what kind of poinsettia die to buy. I don't regret buying the Heartfelt Creations because I truly do love Heartfelt Creations. The only thing that I would say I would not purchase if I had to do it over again would be the shaping mold. But if you have to do like if you sell flowers, for example, and you have to do like an assembly line as far as production, you would be able to pump out more flowers using the shaping mold than shaping every little petal individually. So that's the only difference, but it doesn't really have that much shape, but it would still make a pretty flower. So that is my personal opinion on these. I did not get paid to compare these. I purchase my own products all the time, guys. I'm not on any design team. And so anything that I share with you guys is because I purchased it with my own money, giving it a go, and hopefully giving you good, should I say, comparison as far as should you buy this or should you not, or what I like and don't like about it. So just reviewing the product. So I hope that this helps you. I hope everyone is having a great day, and God bless. Bye.